Welcome back to AV Veterans Talk. We're continuing our conversation with this week's guest, Bobby Breech. So, coming back to, you were in for 4 years. I think that was
I was reserve active. I was three, a little over 3, because I was supposed to get out, and they were going to fly me back home from there, and I said no, I'll extend until we get home,
right,
because college. I was going to go to college, and I got out in May. By the time we got back, it was April, May, June, somewhere right in there. So I really didn't care. School didn't start till September. So then I started my reserve time.
Yeah, reserve was kind of like Air Force wise. You know what, you do that and kind of balances out the active. We're 4 years active in the Air Force.
Okay.
So obviously during that time period, I don't know what you guys were doing, but
it's usually 2.
But see,
and then you go in.
Because I went in delayed enlistment, and I was like 4 months of that. But then the rest of my 2 years of reserves would be, the balance of the less the 4. So when you get less the 4 months, so I'm sure the Navy was something similar to that. I would think. So
but once you're in the reserves, you go once a weekend, or I mean a weekend a month, and I did my time at Elysian Park down by Dodger Stadium.
Nice. Yeah.
And then one time a year for 2 weeks you had active duty. So I had a 2-week vacation of going out on my yacht.
Yeah. What yacht was that? Was it the same ship?
No. I couldn't even tell you the name of it.
Yeah,
I think it was a Wasserman or something like. I don't.
Yeah, that's cool. So you went to college. I take it. Did you follow through on that commitment?
Well, I wanted to be a firefighter. That's what I wanted to do. That's what I did in the Navy, basically. And so I just wanted to get so I got my associate's degree in fire science. And then I was working for Pacific Telephone during the summertime. Well, after I got my AAA, they put that little carrot in front of me, and I grabbed it and spent 31 years with them.
So you didn't become that fireman?
So,
no. Did you? Where did you work at early on there? I mean, were you up here in the valley, or were you down there? Or?
I started off in North Hollywood, Sun Valley, and 11 years there, and then got transferred to Canyon Country, and I thought I died and went to heaven.
Oh, of course, everybody.
Because I was living here.
Yeah.
So 6 months after I started the phone company, I bought a house out here.
Right.
I mean, shoot, for $23,000 or something like that, a half-acre, 3-bedroom, 2-bath. It was a good deal.
There you go. And you were working on Princess phones. Stuff like that. You had it all, man. Stuff you were good to go.
And then my last was up here in Palmdale. I worked in Palmdale and then retired.
Yeah, from the phone company, and after that, did you just go off and play golf, or I mean, did you do anything after that, business wise, or no?
No.
Just
I played yesterday too.
Did you play courses and stuff?
Yeah. Well,
So
it helps when your wife works at a golf course.
Well, there you go. Which golf course does she work at? Give me a plug.
Okay, she's at Desert Air.
No, Desert Air. There you go.
Yeah, P and 40th.
There you go. So, like you didn't have a life, and you're living La Vida Loca here, shall we say, and you decide to get involved with the American Legion. And, of course, then comes the real challenge in life, I would imagine. Yeah. You joined, you've always been with 348, Post 348 in Palmdale?
No.
No?
I spent 1 year at 311.
311 out here on 40th.
Or no, I'm sorry, 771. It was 771, and they folded, and so it wasn't because they folded. 348 was right around the corner from my house, and to be honest with you, they had karaoke one night, and so I wanted to sing. So I went there, and everybody was great and had a good time, and so I decided to move my membership there, and
been there ever since.
Been there ever since.
Yeah,
that was 21 years ago.
There you go. American Legion, for people that don't understand American Legion, it's been around for a long time. A lot of us that I'm not a VFW guy because I never served on in a foreign war and stuff. You didn't count either, did you?
Believe it or not, I didn't, because I didn't put my little paw on the
Absolutely.
on the ground.
You could sail right up to that shore, but if you don't touch the sand,
That's right.
it ain't happening. So, but American Legion has been around. What's a little history of the American Legion there?
American Legion was started in 1919.
Mm-hmm. After World War
And
I.
yes,
Yeah.
and through an act of Congress, and that's and they've been around ever since. That's why they have a little strict things on when, if you can be even in the American Legion,
Mm-hmm.
because some of these kids that during Cold War, they're not in during
Conflict.
a conflict, and they're not eligible for
Right.
the American Legion.
Right.
So
Yeah.
we put them in as like boosters, or
Yeah.
if their parents were or grandparents were in the service, then they
Yeah.
could go in as the sons of the American Legion.
Yeah. I got in there by just like that 4 months
Now,
because Vietnam was still active when I was in the Air Force, and even though it was winding down, but that small window, gave me that key to get into that executive
it's
American Legion stuff. Yeah, it stopped.
in the 75 somewhere.
Yeah,
right there.
which a lot of the guys, stuff, we can talk about this a little bit. Stuff. The Cold War, once again, was the longest continuous war we had in the United States. Went from the 1940s all the way up till Mr. Gorbachev tear down this wall, and I really felt that my brother was a missile man. Luckily he never had to fire a shot in anger, because it would have been a very bad day for the world if he had to go to work that day and follow through on what his job classification was. But whether you're standing in a field staring down an AK-47 with an M16 across a field, here you had two individuals that were standing off with nuclear weapons, one in Russia, one in America, and they were staring down the same barrel that the combatant was in the field.
Yeah.
And I always felt it was a little unjust that they would not be considered, once again, not combat veterans, but they should be given some kind of recognition for their service. We never even got a ribbon for the Cold War.
No.
They went through it, and Congress and individuals tried to push forth a ribbon to show that service, but there was a lot of pushback because of the whole nuclear war standoff, and people just weren't warm and fuzzy with it. Like
About my national defense.
yeah, that's
it.
your national defense. That's all you get. So anyway, we'll take a break here. When we come back, we'll get into the post activities and things like that a little bit, okay? I'm Bob Alvis, and thanks for joining us for this segment of AV Veterans Talk.